Hey everybody, it's Paul.
And Steve.
And we are back to discuss it all today. Now we have a great topic today. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think. All right, before we get started, we want to encourage you to, at some point during the video, to hit the like button and make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification button. That will let you know every time we post a brand new video. All right, Steve, what do we have today?
So, not all of us are perfect, Paul. Maybe there are some that are more perfect than others, but most of us aren't perfect. And so we all do things that annoy other people. And we might do a video sometime on the things we do that annoy other people, but today's video is what other people do that annoy us.
Okay.
And so that's what we want to discuss today. We want to we're going to have our list, our individual list of the 5 things that other people do that we find annoying.
All right.
So, and even some people we love may do these things.
Sure.
And they may be things we do. So we could be hypocrites here.
Maybe.
But it's still things that other people do that annoy us.
Yep.
And why don't you go first? I'm excited to hear the things that I do, perhaps that annoy you. But
okay. All right.
Let me do
So
these.
I don't think you've done any of these things. So all right, I'm going to start off with bullying.
Oh yeah.
Bullying to me is can't stand it when I'm around somebody that is just that way. That's just an overbearing person. It's just one of those things that
don't like it. So physical bullying, verbal, emotional kind of.
More so the verbal and emotional.
Sure.
Just because if it's physical,
we're grown up. So
we're
there's not a lot of physical bullying's going on.
Right. I'm always going to step in if I see physical bullying. If it is verbal or emotional, maybe not. And unfortunately, there are some family members and stuff, that sometimes you're around. That kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
Not everybody's relationship
people down
is as perfect as ours.
Oh, absolutely. That's right. No bullying here. Just don't bully me. And my kids, when they were in school, they had what they called the bully box. So if you bullied somebody, your name got put in the bully box. But we talk about it at our house. Well, that's what we at our house is. You get put in the bully box. So.
That's right.
Oh, good.
That's how you learn.
That's right. That's right. So my first annoying activity of other people is going to be very similar, and it may be what you intend by this, but I'm going to say to speak condescendingly to people. So it may not be like you're actively bullying someone, though it could become that, but it's just to speak in a condescending way, to speak down to someone. They don't know as much as you do. They're not as understandable of whatever the context is and understand it enough, and so you're going to speak in a condescending way. It's something that annoys me to just no end, Paul, because we all have areas where we're more expert than other people,
right?
And some people maybe have more of those. Maybe they're well traveled or they're well read, and I see whatever knowledge I might have in an area is kind of a responsibility, not a privilege. And in the Bible, actually Jesus talks about that. To whom much is given, much is required. So if you have some kind of knowledge, I see it as you're responsible for helping people to come along and to grow, and as opposed to being condescending toward them. And I know people, even friends that I have that. I watch the way they interact with people, and it can be so condescending, and it really does annoy me when people are condescending toward me, but also when I watch them be condescending to others. What I find is that a lot of people are willing to accept that children maybe don't have as much knowledge or much experience as they do, but they won't give that same benefit over for adults, and I think they should carry that over the same way you're going to treat children in a way that's not condescending. You're not looking down to them or talking down to them. You shouldn't talk down to other people as well. So maybe in the same category of bullying, maybe a little different, but similar at least.
Yeah. So to speak to what you were talking about, number one, for you guys, Steve's absolutely brilliant. I've seen him take open questions from a room full of people, and that is one of the things I really admire about you. Is I've never seen you kind of be puffed up with the knowledge you have and the ability to answer these questions. You always make the person who's asking a question, feel very very good. And yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about, but not really. I was more thinking, and you giving your first thing really helped me define it better. Usually when you get a group of people, especially guys, there's always going to be somebody who's maybe not as good at whatever activity, or maybe doesn't have as much knowledge. So that certainly comes to the condescending thing. And there's always going to be somebody who's going to pick on that person.
Yeah.
And I saw it a lot when I was a teenager.
Sure, of course.
You know, we would call each other terrible names and stuff, and it was like, you know, sometimes I was the butt of that. Sometimes, and sometimes I was a person dishing out, but a lot of times I was just the person in the group, and somebody else was doing it to somebody else. And like I just think back on it, I was like, man, that person must have just felt awful.
Terrible. Yeah.
And so that was kind of the situation I was imagining when I said bullying. But
putting people down.
But you're thinking about speaking condescendingly. I think it's different. There's a distinction there.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
And that's a great one. You know, I really do like that.
Yeah. We don't want to be putting people down.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. Because you're right. Like the Bible said. He who has much is expected. And Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. It's the same thing, just different language.
Right. Absolutely. I like it. I can live with it.
All right, so my next one is going to be, it's going to be a twofer here. And I kind of think of the same thing. And that's going to be chewing with your mouth open or talking with your mouth full.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. It's basically you're letting me see what you're eating in real time.
And I don't want to see it.
And I don't want to see it.
No.
And that's just basically, I don't really need to say a whole lot more with it.
No, that's right. At the most, you can take an Instagram picture of what you are about to eat, and I'll look at that.
Sure.
I mean, I can look at the plate of what you're about to eat, but I really don't want to see what you are in the process of eating.
Right.
No, that's good. No, I wonder for some people if it's they're trying to do too much at the same time, right? So I'm going to talk with my mouth full. Why not just sit? They can't stand and not be talking, maybe. And as someone who does a lot of talking, that's probably one I have to be very cautious about. Make sure I'm not talking with my mouth full.
So you and I, as much time as we spent together, I don't think we've ever had a meal together.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I might be skating on thin ice here.
I may be annoying you before long.
No.
So if we're ever allowed to go out to dinner again, I may annoy you. If restaurants open. So, no, that's good. That's a really good one.
That's my second one.
All right, so I'm going to go, my next most annoying habit that other people have is to interrupt people in the middle of conversation. And I don't mean two people are having a conversation and someone walks in and interrupts, but as two people are talking with one another, rather than hearing what the other person's saying, interrupting them while they're trying to tell a story or trying to share whatever it is that they want to share. So that not listening, you have two ears and one mouth, and so a little more listening, a little less talking. So interrupting someone that you're having a conversation with is highly annoying.
I can't agree more with you on that. The presidential debates were very difficult for us.
That's right.
I'm kind of feeling like they, with the exception of eating with their mouth open,
we're hitting
a lot of these things.
Yeah, they broke all these rules.
So all right, so I'll go a little bit different of a direction. We'll get off the presidential stuff here, and I'm going to talk about driving for a moment.
Okay.
And driving distracted.
Oh, right.
Is something to me, just because I've said it in another video. Most of my professional life, when I worked outside the home, I was in driving positions. So I've always gone through different safety courses with driving. I don't pretend that I can drive better than anybody else, but I do know how to focus on the task at hand. And there are many times where I've not realized what I was doing, and then only after that I'm like, wow, I was really distracted there for a few minutes. I don't even remember driving. Something could have happened, and I mean, it only takes an instant. People, fooling with their cell phones or just whatever it is while they're driving, and to the point where they are now causing a hindrance to the rest of traffic, whether they're driving too slow, whether they're, weaving in lanes, or sitting at a stoplight and sit through a stoplight.
Yeah.
We've all, I think anybody who's driven for any period of time now has either been the person that gets distracted by their phone at a stoplight and you've actually sat through the green light, or you've been behind somebody.
That's annoying.
Who's sitting through.
Yeah, that's annoying. There's no doubt.
So that's something that's very easy to do. I've been there where I've not realized the light has changed, but that's something I really try to focus on when I'm driving is, hey, I'm not going to be distracted, and it's just dangerous.
No, it is, and that's an area I have personally have a lot of you need to do some work on, because you drive through Chick-fil-A and you're trying to change the music, you're looking at maps, you're trying to eat your waffle fries. I mean, all these things are going on at the same time. It's easy.
They're all equally important things.
That's right. They are important, but it's easy to get distracted. And it's several months ago, I was driving on a 2-lane road and looked up in the mirror, in my rearview mirror, saw the young lady behind me. She was texting and clearly distracted. So I moved over into the other lane so that she wouldn't be behind me. And as we were coming up to the light, she quickly came into my lane and ran right in the back of me because she was distracted, and then gave me a bad insurance card and not her name and all that sort of thing. But that's okay. Yeah, it's those things happen. There was no real damage to the car, and her car was smashed up pretty bad. But it was there are people who are hurt very seriously because of other people and themselves being distracted. So yeah, that's a good annoyance. Yeah, something we should fix. So okay, I'm going to stick with driving.
Should have vetted these.
Probably should have. Yeah,
I'm stepping on some toes
What
here.
we're talking about, yeah. Oh my goodness! Now we'll have the counseling session comes after this. That's the next video. I'm going to stick with driving, and I am so highly annoyed. This is probably the most annoying thing to me in the world, and that is people who drive on the interstate in the left lane. I don't care how fast they're going; just being in the left lane is just, to me, it's annoying. And usually people who are in the left lane are driving slowly. And that becomes so frustrating when you're trying to keep pace and you got your cruise control set and you're trying to stay not distracted, and the other driver is distracting you by being in your way.
Yeah.
So that's an annoyance for me.
Yeah. Now, I've just got to clarify because maybe this is something I need to work on. So you're on the interstate,
right?
Like our I-40 here. It's 2 lanes in the other direction between Raleigh and the 95.
That's right.
And it's usually pretty busy. So it's usually fairly solid.
That's right.
Moving at speed.
Yeah.
Is that okay to drive in the left lane?
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably so, because if not, you would just have this long line of cars who are just when you're you're between Columbia, South Carolina, and Augusta, Georgia. And cars are, and I think in South Carolina maybe they teach them to drive in the left lane. I'm not sure, but you're in what's supposed to be the passing lane.
Yes. And
generally it ends up being 2 cars are driving side by side at about 5 miles an hour under the speed limit. And so that I should have qualified that a little more, or clarified. It's not in those kinds of situations where you're all backed up and it's bumper to bumper, but where 2 cars are just driving, holding up traffic behind them, and they won't just pull ahead a little and move over, or back and move over. So that's the annoyance.
Okay.
Yeah,
I totally understand that.
Yeah,
I get that. I get that.
So if you're on I-40, you can do that, Paul. But if you're in the interstate in the middle of nowhere and you're holding up traffic because you're in the left lane, I'm going to be annoyed with you.
With you.
I'll be texting you from behind you. So.
I'm with you on that. Maybe have Ginger text me.
That's right.
All right, so I'm going to stick with the driving theme as my last vehicular one, and this is probably my number 1.
All right.
And this is going to be intentionally taking up more than one parking space.
Oh wow, that's so true.
So this is not the person that maybe you just misjudge the parking spot and you're a little bit closer to one line than the other. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're even on the line, or and maybe that's because the person one person in the line parked, and now everybody has kind of adjusted and shifted. I'm talking about the people that deliberately take up 2, sometimes 3, or maybe 4 parking spots, and they do that sometimes near the front of the store.
Yeah, sure.
Because they've got a nice car, because
that's right.
I don't care what it is. Yeah, whatever the reason is, it's rude.
It is. That's right.
If you want to take up that many parking spots, I don't have any problem with that. Park at the end of the parking lot and go to town.
Yeah.
But when you're blocking people who need to, for other reasons, to park closer to the store, just don't do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Or at the mall during Christmas, don't do that.
Please don't do that. No.
Yeah. So that's mine.
No, that's good. I'm gonna stick with the parking lot thing.
Okay.
And that is people who don't return the buggy at the store.
Yeah.
Or the cart. What do you call it? Do you call it a buggy or a cart?
Call it a cart.
A cart, okay. I called it a buggy. Yeah.
That's okay. I know what you mean.
It is a shopping cart, though. But yeah, I don't think I normally call it a buggy. I don't know why that suddenly made it into the video.
It's one of those regional things. It just depends where you are. Now you grew up in Alabama and Mississippi.
Grew up in Alabama, Mississippi.
Did they call it a shopping cart or a buggy?
Called it a buggy.
Okay, and so I grew up in Maryland, and that was a shopping cart.
Yeah, it was a cart.
And I think Shannon in California always called it a shopping cart.
How about that? Yeah.
But it's got another name. There's another. I think in the Midwest they call it something.
Call it something else, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the Midwest, they've got neat names for everything.
Yeah.
So if you're a Midwesterner, what do you call it? That'd be nice to know. So,
yeah.
But people who leave those, right? They go to their car, they unload it, they leave it in a parking space, and then they drive off. And there's an empty, what should be an empty parking space that has the buggy in it.
Yep.
Which is terrible. So annoying.
It is. It is. I mean, really, that just comes down to being entitled. You can't spare the extra couple minutes or a couple seconds or whatever it's going to be to return that cart to the shopping cart return area. I mean, some people go the extra mile and take it into the store, and you don't need to do all
You don't
that.
have to do that.
Just put it to the shopping cart receptacle place.
And in fact, during COVID, they would probably rather you not take it in the store
Yeah.
because they're going to wipe it down and desanitize it, and
Right.
or sanitize it,
Or desanitize.
or desanitize it. That's the case, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, but at least put it back where it's supposed to go, and not in a parking space or to roll down and smash in the side of your car or something.
Yep.
So pretty annoying.
Yeah. All right. So I think that brings me to my last one.
Last one. Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'm going to go with having a closed mind.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good one.
So because we've talked about it in another one of our videos, like how we like to discuss things, we like to read.
that's right.
What some of our most fun things to do are just hang out with people and discuss things. I know myself, I have changed my mind, my point of view throughout my life. As I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit wiser about things. Things that I thought for sure were right, the right way to do things, I now consider to be totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I just find it annoying when people won't even consider another point of view.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you are firm in your beliefs.
Right.
And if you have a reason for that, that's totally fine.
Sure.
You're totally welcome to that. But if you're somebody that you just won't even listen to the other side of the argument, I just find that off-putting.
Very off-putting, very annoying, and it's not very grown up, either. It's So certainly, that's a good one, and for a lot of people, they almost pride themselves on what they won't listen to, and that's just that's not a good thing at all.
Yeah, that is interesting that you bring it up, because some people do wear that as a badge of pride. Like, I believe so strongly in this, wanting to listen. And like, if you're so strong about it, you feel like it's the right thing. It should be able to stand up to the criticism.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a good one. And that is annoying. There's no doubt. All right, so my last one is going to be, and it's kind of it's a combination, but it's misusing your cell phone in public. And by that, I mean using the speakerphone on your cell phone in public, or talking too loudly on your cell phone. So that kind of goes together, just misusing it in that way. In particular, having your speakerphone. You're walking through Target or Walmart or whatever, and you're talking to someone, and you've got the speakerphone on, and you're just having a conversation. It is very, to use your term, off-putting for sure, and annoying to no end.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm the smart aleck that will always say hi to the people as I'm walking by, or try to interject in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Not in an interrupting way.
No, not in an interrupting way. No, and engaging in the conversation.
Yeah. Hey, I figure if they want to be part of it, that's part of the experience.
That's right. If we're having this in public, let's just have it in public.
Exactly.
Because you and I both do like to discuss it all. We'll discuss it with anybody.
Absolutely.
It doesn't just have to be with each other.
It does not. That's right. All right, so those are our lists. Hopefully we kept this a little bit lighter. How about you guys? What is your pet peeve or annoyance that other people do that just gets under your skin?
That's right. Well, maybe even something that we did.
Maybe. It could be. It easily could be.
Could be, yeah.
You can leave that in a comment. We've got thick skin.
We'll address those. That's right.
Yeah, we're open to new ideas here.
Always.
All right, leave those down in the comment below. Please leave the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the share button so your friends can see it. And we will see you guys next time.